ever since the universe sprang into life, emerging from a dark, misty nothingness. Subtler than the point zero where the first human brain marveled at its origin, and vaster than the most advanced civilization, ever to rise and fall in a distant galaxy. Drifting through the vacuum, its source has remained nowhere. For those who chased its shoreline to the ends of somewhere and everywhere, they found it, inevitably, nowhere. When an intelligent species in a distant galaxy stood at its edge, staring curiously at the ever-expanding universe, and trying to infer some meaning, the cosmos, like a wanton child, threw tantrums, then spat in the face of its admirer some article of curiosity, and when the same species dove deep in greed, allured by brighter, more distant jewels, the universe first embraced him in sympathy, overwhelmed him with majesty, then smote with force, devoured with relish, and deposited the remains into its deepest depths as the most valued treasure. Now reel back to the present, as we experience the past, and pause for a moment. Isn't there a replica of this vast expanse in our lives, or at least in its behavior? A reader engulfed in a stack of books inside a gigantic library is no less an adventurer than a diver into the cosmic deep. Some books inform, help us build the foundations. But once the teachings come easily to us, the memory of the guide begins to fade in the outside world, though it remains submerged within us, unquestioned. A second set of books sparks curiosity. They lure us deeper. Time freezes the moment we plunge into their core. The letters, arranged in cryptic elegance, seep into our senses and begin to materialize into the voice of the author, long dead for centuries. Suddenly, the author grabs our soul and takes the wheel. The reader and writer become one, living together within the confines of flesh. Together, they embark on a joyride, or wander among the ruins of the past. It's as if the writer has been born again, reliving his own work with a companion, the reader. And amid all this excitement, have you ever felt the urge to slow down just a little as the last few pages approach? Perhaps it is the author in you who craves to elongate the journey. Perhaps the author, too, harbors a deeply ingrained fear that he may not be brought back from the grave by another reader. But the candle flickers, dusk rushes to night, and the journey must end. It's time to bury the author and mourn the loss. And once in a blue moon, you meet people who speak harshly of your beloved author. They label the very work through which the author spoke to you his magnum opus as blatant lies. You argue, you grieve, you resist. But then, quietly, you realize, perhaps books are nothing but mirrors. You only ever see in them what already exists inside you. That is why they speak differently to everyone. Maybe the answer you sought in a book was nowhere. And maybe that nowhere exists within you. The same place from which this vast universe once sprang. But all we can safely say is, it all ended with a book.
Before you go, here's a book recommendation, especially if you're a fan of speculative fiction that bends reality and touches the soul. It's called The Paper Menagerie and Other Stories by Ken Liu. The book contains 15 brilliantly crafted tales, each one designed to stir your imagination and linger in your mind long after the final word. If that sounds like your kind of read, give it a go. Subscribe for more literary content, bookish insights, and stories that stay with you.